originals, almost all originals. And I kind of do two different styles of music. I do the singer-songwriter style is how I started, but then years ago I started doing more like telling stories with my songs, and that's about where I am now. So I may sneak one of the singer-songwriters ones in, but for the most part, it's going to be my storytelling songs. And a lot of them, why I chose that for tonight, is a lot of them were written locally about events or things that happened in Bucks County. The first one is not an example. The first one, I actually also lived in West Virginia for a while, and a lot of my music is about labor and the coal mines and things. So my first song was on our first album with River Drivers, and it's called Blair Mountain, and it's about the Battle of Blair Mountain, which probably you don't know too much about because there's not much written about it.
Crawling up Blair Mountain, Russia's dense as coal, so close you feel their breath upon your face, so close they would steal your soul.
stay in West Virginia just for one more song, and this song's called The Everlasting Faint, and The reason it's called that is it's written about a woman who was murdered at the hands of her husband, and the death certificate read everlasting faint, but it was really a murder. And this is one of the only times that a ghost's testimony was admitted to help convict a murderer. So this happened right outside the town that I was going to school in at the time, and we used this song to raise money for the family center that took care of the 3 counties that this woman was from. But so this is called the Everlasting Faint.
You had a child when you were 22, but then your lover, he was gone. In strides a stranger, his name was Edward Jew, most handsome man you ever saw. Now the zone of Easter shoe, what did that drifter do to you? Had to come back from the grave to make sure that his crime was paid. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. Within a month things got real bad. His words turned mean and cruel. Your throat was crushed by a blacksmith's hands because he didn't like your stew. Now the zone of Easter shoe, what did that drifter do to you? Had to come back from the grave to make sure that his crime was paid. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. Shoe hid the truth as the 2 eyes before, so the partner wouldn't know. Hair at your neck in a long red scarf, so the bruises wouldn't show. Now the zone of Easter shoe, what did that drifter do to you? Had to come back from the grave to make sure that his crime was paid. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. Your mother said the devil did his work. She never trusted Edward Shoe. She prayed that you would come back from the dead, so she could learn that hate is true. Now the zone of Easter shoe, what did that drifter do to you? Had to come back from the grave to make sure that his crime was paid. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. The judge and jury, they believed your ghost. They raised your body from the ground. They saw those marks, his hands upon your throat. They said Edward Shoe to Moundsville. Now the zone of Easter shoe, what did that drifter do to you? Had to come back from the grave to make sure that his crime was paid. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da.
He was actually sent to Moundsville. He died several months after that in prison. Thank you. I have to tune in today or something. The next song, like I said, I'm going back to this singer-songwriter roots. This is probably one of the first songs I wrote, and maybe about 50 years ago. And I dusted it up, wrote a couple more verses a year or two ago, and it's called The Copper Bird. gonna change genres here, and I only wrote one song with my dad. He wasn't a musician. He was a woodworker, built some dulcimers, but he was a poet, and he wrote this song with me called Mary Green, and it's an anti-war song about the Civil War. It's called Mary Green. You'll hear the story here.
That ugly war raged day and night, as rough as ever seen. The mood with bloody accuracy crossed the home and farm of Mary Green. The cannons roared and the air was thick. You could hear cries and groans. Mary and her sisters wait. The farm had been their only home. Head to toe and side by side, shrouded in the field they died. Town by town and state by state, gently lay them in that warm Georgia clay. Now Sherman's men were eastward bound. They left no stone unturned, and in their wake 500 men in hasty shallow graves interred. The tearful eyes looked out upon the devastating scene. So many boys and men were lost. The war split through the nation's seam. Head to toe and side by side, shrouded in the field they died. Town by town and state by state, gently laid in that warm Georgia clay. They lay these boys from Tennessee in the ground beside the others, and then they wrote letters home to the sweethearts and their brothers. The stand you could not justify, the wrong flag they did wave, but they fell in the field of Mary Green, who said all dead shall have a decent grave. Head to toe and side by side, shrouded in the field they died. Town by town and state by state, gently lay them in that warm Georgia clay. Now she and her sister lay there dead, head to toe and side by side. Sherman took his fallen men and sent them on their final ride. So in Reseca now, beneath the cross, his families did not claim. Eternity's a price you pay as you lay and play without a name. Head to toe and side by side, shrouded in the field they died. Town by town and state by state, gently lay them in that warm Georgia clay. Gently lay them in that warm Georgia clay.
That's for my dad. We're doing time-wise, and got a couple more.
Yeah, you got like 2 more.
Okay, that's what I got. We're gonna I guess I'm me, are gonna do the, it's hard when you have a band, let me tell you. So I always make Kevin do the first song because like it takes me that long to let him know. But this song was written about this very area and this very bridge. It's called George B. Fell, and I was reading an article one night written by Carl Laveau, who writes historical in the area, and it was about this Quaker, George B. Fell, who there was a freshet, which is when the ice breaks up upriver, came roaring down and took him off a bridge that he was collecting tolls on. And this is his story, at the end of the story, Carl Laveau said, "I don't know why a ballad was never written about George B. Fell." So that's all I had to hear. By nightfall, this ballad was written. So, and yeah, I sent it to him. He liked it. He actually did a follow-up article on it. It was really cool. But so this is George B. Fell.
Was he the last toll person?
Maybe that's what
This is a
happened.
free bridge, so
Maybe that's what
maybe
happened.
they said, "Oh, this guy died."
It may have, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it wasn't, but you'll hear, we mentioned Lambertville, I think in like the second verse or whatever.
It was the Delaware freshet, 1841. Looked up from taking tolls to where the sound came from. Saw all ice and Rocky never could outrun. And George fell, George fell, George fell, George B. Fell. Dead center on the center bridge as the deck was ripped away. He grabbed onto a jagged plank and he began to pray. Houses, broken furniture, and a coffin led the way. For George fell, George fell, George fell, George B. Fell. Dead center on that center bridge as the deck was ripped away. He grabbed onto a jagged plank and he began to pray. Houses, broken furniture, and a coffin led the way. For George fell, George fell, George fell, George B. Fell. His nephew jumped up on a horse and sped to Lambertville. Alerting all the townspeople was all that he could do. George was pushed beneath the bridge with a force that could kill. George fell, George fell, George fell, George B. Fell. Or the fall of New Hope on that very edge of town. Playing for his own dear life and fighting not to drown. Past Washington's crossing, he still could not reach ground. And George fell, George fell, George fell, George B. Fell. Just then Edward Nicholson, a fisherman by trade, jumped in the swirling turbulence, a short and watery grave across the wreckage and icebergs, and finally made the save. Of George fell, George fell, George fell, George B. Fell. But George was never quite the same after his first brush with death. Life had flashed before his eyes, muddy water sucked his breath. Each time he tried to close his eyes, came the roar of that fresh air. And George fell, George fell, George fell, George B. Fell.
What's up?
One more?
Yeah, one more spot. Great.
Okay, one more Bucks County song, and this one is actually about my grandparents losing their farm on the eve of the Great Depression, and the farm was in Tarsdale. But the connection to this area is it was the Brown brothers who were the auctioneers who actually sold the farm, and they're still in business down like 202 or 413 or something. So this one's called Going Once, Going Twice. This is on our second album, I guess, yeah.